This is the Sultanate of Oman television live with the tonight news bulletin. But first, the headlines. The Duqm refinery project exceeds 81% completion rate, and a bus manufacturing factory in Duqm plans to make 200 buses this year. And India registers the highest daily infections and deaths and coronavirus cases worldwide exceeds 146 million. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The completion rate of Duqm refinery project exceeded 81% until the end of March. The construction packages of the project include the construction-related works, oil pipeline, storage tanks, and driveway. Duqm refinery is considered a joint project between OQ and Kuwait Petroleum International. The project will refine 65% of Kuwait crude oil and 35% of Oman crude oil. It is proposed that the refined oil will be stored at Ras Al Markaz, a global storage terminal for crude oil outside the Strait of Hormuz. Karwa Motors stated that it is currently preparing to manufacture the first bus from its factory in the Special Economic Zone in Duqm. The company plans to manufacture 200 buses this year, including school buses, city buses, and long-distance buses. The production capacity of the factory in its first phase will reach 500 buses annually. The factory is considered one of the strategic investment between the Sultanate and State of Qatar, as Oman Investment Authority holds 30% and Qatar Mawasalat Company has 70% in the project. Production of refineries and petroleum industries in the Sultanate reached 19,109,000 barrels until the end of March, increasing by 1.2% compared to the same period of 2020. The National Center for Statistics and Information stated that the production of fuel 91 exceeded 2,250,000 barrels, with a decrease by 25% compared to the same period of last year. The production of fuel 95 amounted to 4,350,000 barrels, increasing by 38% compared to the same period of 2020. Muscat Stock Exchange recorded its best volume of executed trading this with 5,176 points. Muscat Stock Exchange has been witnessing an increase in the number of executed trades with the increase of the share prices for many companies. The registered banks have shown a considerable jump in net profits to 87 million Omani Riyals in the first quarter of this year, compared to 69 million in the same period last year, recording a growth by 26%. Assets for Sharia-compliant banks by the end of February reached 5.4 billion Omani Riyals, according to statistics from the Central Bank of Oman. The statistics also revealed an increase in the overall credits provided by Islamic-compliant banks in Oman to 4.4 billion Oman Riyals by the end of February, an increase by 9.9% compared to the same period last year. Similarly, deposits in Islamic banks grew by 10% to reach 3.8 billion Omani Riyals by the end of February this year. Sultanate of Oman joins the global community in celebrating Regional Environment Day on April 24th. The Environment Authority launches from time to time awareness campaigns for the community by addressing various areas of interest, such as the importance of conserving the Omani environment, tackling the issue of maritime pollution, their causes, and partnership between the authority community and other agencies in protecting maritime ecology. Sultanate of Oman, represented by the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources, celebrated the World Veterinary Day, which is observed on the last Saturday of April. The day commemorates the efforts and achievements of veterinarians in maintaining public health and hygiene for animal, protecting human beings from core species diseases coming from animals, and improving the quality of meat, which is a main source of food for human and other living beings.
COVID-19 everyday precautions. Follow these easy steps to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. If you sneeze or cough, cover your nose and mouth with a tissue or use your elbow. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Clean and disinfect surfaces around your home and work frequently. Keep a distance between yourself and others if you must be in public. Wear a cloth face covering over your mouth and nose when around others. Carry a small bottle of hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Getting vaccinated is one of the many steps you can take to protect yourself and others from COVID-19. Protection from COVID-19 is critically important because for some people, COVID-19 can cause severe illness or death. Vaccines work with your immune system, so your body will be ready to fight the virus if you are exposed. After you've been fully vaccinated against COVID-19, you should keep taking precautions in public places or when you are with unvaccinated people. Getting vaccinated against COVID-19 and following everyday precautions to protect yourselves and others will offer the best protection from COVID-19. Get vaccinated against COVID-19 to protect yourself and others.
Now, vaccinations offers the best exit strategy from the COVID-19 pandemic, and as per the Ministry of Health, there is no preference among the vaccines currently used in Oman in terms of efficacy and safety. They are all safe, and when your turn comes, do not forget to get there and get a vaccine. Here is a report.
Vaccination offers the best exit strategy from the COVID-19 pandemic. To accomplish this objective, achieving high population coverage of COVID-19 vaccination is essential. However, despite the good safety and efficacy of COVID-19 vaccines, public skepticism about the vaccines persists. To avoid disrupting the vaccination program's success, developing strategies that address vaccine skepticism is essential. To dispel vaccine misinformation and myths, differentiating between the under-vaccinated, the anti-vaxxers, and the vaccine hesitant is required. The vaccine hesitant represent those who are uncertain about getting vaccinated, but remain open to it if they are convinced that vaccines are safe, effective, and necessary.
Alhamdulillah, today I get vaccinated. I am relieved and I am happy. I consider myself lucky because I secure myself, I secure my family, and I secure my community. I urge my fellow citizens to take the vaccine. I understand there is many people have their reason why they wouldn't take the vaccine. Unfortunately, those people who are going to get the COVID, they will contribute to the pandemic. But no, Omani will survive. Omani will stop the COVID-19. They will continue. Oman need us today. Omani economy need us today. We have to open Oman. And of course, I will continue following the precautionary measures because I have second doses to take in the next weeks.
No serious side effects that have been reported for vaccines used in the Sultanate against COVID-19 pandemic to date, as stated earlier by the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health added that there is no preference among the vaccines currently used in Oman in terms of efficacy and safety. Hence, it is important for you to have your vaccine if your turn comes.
Now, do not hesitate to go and have your vaccine when the time comes. Now, the director here was asking, when is their turn going to come? Soon is going to come. We all have got to be patient. We will get the vaccine. A daily record of more than 893,000 COVID-19 cases has been recorded worldwide, mainly due to a surge of the virus in India. The previous daily high was some 819,000 cases on January 8th. More than a third of the infections occurred in India, which announced 332,730 new cases yesterday and another 346,786 today. Also a record for a single country since the start of the pandemic. Over the course of a week, more than 5.5 million cases were recorded worldwide, including almost 2 million in India. India has also registered a record of 2,624 deaths over the previous 24 hours. The pandemic has killed nearly 190,000 people in total in the country. Other countries trailing India with the most new infections are the United States, 490,000 cases in 1 week, Brazil, 459,000, and Turkey, 404,000. The threshold of 150 million cases worldwide is expected to be reached next week. The world moved closer to curbing the worst of global warming after this week's climate summit, but there is still a long way to go, and the road to a safer future gets even rockier from here. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres this week said with the world trying to prevent more than another half degree of warming or so to achieve the most stringent of goals set by the 2015 Paris Climate Accord, scientists and politicians alike say this decade is crucial for any chance of getting that done. And that means 2021 is a make or break year for people and the planet. Biden summits organized in less than 100 days was designed to send the world off on a fast start towards Glasgow, and experts said it did so. They figure it pushed the globe anywhere from 1/8 to more than halfway along the journey, with mixed opinions on whether the United States did enough. Everything culminates in November with heavyweight climate negotiations in Glasgow, Scotland. A European relief organization announced that it had spotted about 10 bodies floating in the water beside a rubber boat that had turned upside down off the Libyan coast, carrying 130 migrants on board. According to the International Organization for Migration, since the beginning of the year, more than 450 migrants have died in the Mediterranean, and most of them were trying to reach Europe from the Tunisian and Libyan coasts. Debris has been recovered from a missing Indonesian submarine, suggesting that the stricken vessel could have been broken apart after sinking with 53 crew aboard. The development dashed already slim hopes of rescuing the sailors alive after the oxygen reserves were understood to have run out earlier in the day. Warships, planes, and hundreds of military personnel have been searching for the KRI Nagala 402 since it disappeared off the coast of Bali early Wednesday. Authorities said the German-built craft was equipped with enough oxygen for only 3 days after losing power. That deadline passed this morning. The Navy's chief said a search party had recovered fragments from the submarine, including items from inside the vessels pointing to a catastrophic accident. There were concerns that the submarine could have been crushed by water pressure if it sank depths of more than 700 meters, well below that what it was built to withstand. The military said the submarine delivered to Indonesia in 1981 was seaworthy. You are with the Sultanate of Oman Television, and to end this news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Duqm refinery project exceeds 81% completion rate, and a bus manufacturing factory in Duqm plans to make 200 buses this year. And India registers the highest daily infections and deaths, and coronavirus cases worldwide exceed 146 million. And with the end of tonight's news bulletin, we always would like to remind you to keep following the precautionary measures of wearing face masks, washing hands, and keeping physical distance from each other. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, it's good night and stay safe and healthy. Good night.